it is much too hot to work outside today, so we're going to be working inside. And one of the things that I'm going to do today is to make some Castile soap, and so I wanted to share that with you and show you how I do it. These are the things that you're going to need to gather together to make your soap. Let's see, we have a digital scale. I got that at Walmart for about $15. This is just my notebook that I keep my soap recipes in. This is my lye. I got that at the hardware store. You want to make sure it's 100% lye. I have my 100% pure olive oil. I have my distilled water. And then I also have vinegar. The vinegar is not to make the soap. The vinegar is for safety. If you should have a spill or get it on your skin, vinegar will neutralize your lye mixture. So also for safety, we have goggles, dollar store. We have gloves, also from the dollar store. And to protect the table, I have a plastic party cloth from the dollar store as well. And it's just held down with picnic clips so that it'll protect the surface of my table. Here I have my containers for my oil, my water, and my lye mixture. Those all came from the thrift store. They were less than $1 a piece, about 79 cents. I also have 2 silicone spatulas. These actually came from Walmart. They were about $1.47, I believe, a piece. Then I also have my thermometers, 2 candy meat thermometer type things. They came from Walmart as well. That is to measure the temperature of my lye and measure the temperature of my oil. Then here, to make it quicker to come to trace, I have my stick blender, about $5 at a thrift store, and the container was, about 50 cents at a thrift store. This also came from the thrift store. This is what I'm going to be using for my mold today. It's a silicone muffin baking thing. I'm sure you've all seen these. I don't use these actually for baking in, but I do like them for soap making because the soap pops right out. And you can get them all day long at the thrift stores, lots of different shapes and sizes. You can also use the loaf pans and cut the bars that way. I've done that as well, but today we're going to go ahead and use these, and they've got a nice little ridge detail on them. That way when the soap is cured, we can just pop them out, set them to dry, and use them. So those are the things that we're going to be using today, so let's get started. The first thing that we're going to measure is our oil. And since I need to heat it to between 100 and 110 degrees, I'm going to go ahead and measure it into my pot. So I'm going to tare my scale to 0. And for the mold I'm using, I need 33 ounces of olive oil. Now I'm using what's called 100% pure olive oil, which is a mix of virgin and refined oil, which will help it to trace better. If you use extra virgin olive oil, it takes a little longer to trace. So I want 33 ounces, almost there. 33.2, really close. Okay, so there is our olive oil. Now I'm going to measure my water. Now all my containers I've written soap on so that no one uses them for anything else, even though they're kept kind of in a separate area anyway. Tare my scale back to 0. For my distilled water, I need 10.89 ounces. Okay, so 10.9. And now we're going to do the lye. So we've got our vinegar handy, just in case. Going to put on the goggles. Going to put on my gloves. And put on my container. Tare my scale. And I need 4.289, so 4.3 ounces of lye. There we go, 4.3. Here is the part that makes people nervous. Mixing your lye into your water. You want to pour the water, or the lye into the water, not the water into the lye, because you don't want to risk it splashing and burning you. And it's going to get super hot, super fast. Don't panic. It's all okay. And I've got my spatula to mix it. So just slowly pour your lye into your water, and it's going to start bubbling. It's okay. I hope you can see. I'm just slowly pouring it in, and it's going to let off fumes, so make sure you're in a well ventilated place. I've got my there it goes. I've got my front door and my back door open, so I've got airflow going through my house. Now you're going to keep stirring it until it's clear, till all the crystals are dissolved. I see it's kind of starting to almost boil. And it smells really bad. So a mask wouldn't be bad if you're really sensitive to it. So we're going to keep stirring it until everything's dissolved. And it's just about clear. See, there we go. Now you want to make sure small children, pets aren't in the area, because not only are the fumes pretty strong, but you don't want anybody spilling this and getting burned. So there, we're all clear. So I'm going to leave this to cool down a little bit, because right now it's super hot. And we only need it to be at 110 degrees. So while that's cooling down a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put my pan on the stove on low heat and heat up my oil to between 100 and 110 degrees, and we will be back. So our lye has cooled and our oil is heated up. So I'm going to put my gloves and my goggles back on until I get the lye and the oil mixed together. Now, if you have a pan just for soap making, you wouldn't need to put it in a separate container, but this is one of my kitchen pans. So we're going to put it into a heat-proof bowl. Make sure we get all of our oil in there. And now we're going to slowly add our lye mixture. You want to make sure not to splash. Alright, now we're going to give it a little bit of a stir. Now if you were going to use fragrance oil, this is where you would add it. I'm just going to make straight Castile soap with no added fragrances. Okay, so once you get it incorporated pretty good there, I'm going to go ahead and grab my stick blender to speed up the process. Now you don't want to splash, you want to just mix it up good. And to save wear and tear on your mixer, especially if you buy secondhand like me, you'll want to mix and then stir. Until we get to trace. So this is going to take a few minutes, so I think we'll speed up the process here. Don't know if you can see this very well, but we've got a light trace on the top. Can you see that? How it kind of leaves the line on the top? I don't know if you can, but anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it. So we're at a light trace, so now we're going to pour it into our mold. Here's our mold. My camera battery died as I was pouring the soap. So this is the soap that I poured. I covered it with a towel. And this is just the board I cut my soap with to keep the heat in. And it's been sitting for about a day and a half. It takes Castile soap a little longer to set up than soaps that are made with harder oils. So look at that. And I obviously miscalculated my soap batch, so I did have some extra soap. So I did go ahead and pour it into these cute little heart molds. So what we're going to do is gently pull the edges away. And I'm going to flip them over on the tablecloth or on the towel just so that I don't ding them up too bad. So I'm going to pop them out. Now it looks like on this mold I got a little bit of color transfer. So once it dries, I will just use a peeler and just take that right off because it's only on the external part of the soap. Okay, oops, one more. So they just pop right out. Now you will notice that they're still a little soft on the very bottom. That's okay, they're going to dry. So, but we just want to get them out of the mold to complete drying. But look at that, little soap pucks. And what I'm going to do is I just have an old shoebox. I'm just going to stand them up on edge so that they can dry. Now, we're also going to unmold these. And these are popping out. Very nice. So wouldn't these be cute for Valentine's Day? Put a little bit of pink dye in them. Oh, and they smell like olive oil. But there's the little heart ones. Now this one I didn't have any transfer, so I think I like that mold a lot better. This is obviously a cheaper mold if it's going to transfer color onto my bars. So I'm going to stand those up. Anyway, you're going to want to put this aside. Castile soap is best the longer you let it sit. So you can go ahead and use it after 4 to 6 weeks, but really for it to be really super hard and have a really nice lather, you want it to sit for 4 to 6 months. So a lot of this, if you make soap now, you can go ahead and give it away as Christmas gifts or have it on hand ready for the holidays. So I hope that's helpful for you. Castile soap, 100% olive oil soap, true Castile soap. Super easy, you can make it yourself. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll talk to you later.